Okay, it's the end of week 2. It's Saturday from downtown Lamboosin. Okay, so as we ended yesterday, there was an error in the type of stone, and we kind of got the word that this company is maybe a little bit notorious for this. Their waste material, they were calling that mix, and it's not. So I have to give a monster shout out to my wife. Monster. She jumped in, got all over Facebook, phoned the barangay captain, and hunted down a multicab, a miniature pickup truck, for the boys, anything younger than me is a boy, to move all of that overpriced rock to the front of the property. Okay, so let's get started with day 2. Remember, my wife, really doing it. Wow. 2 trucks on site now, and the guys, we've got tarps for them so they can lay in the beds of their trucks, because this one is too fancy. It's gonna get all scratched up. Not our problem. Okay, so one little bit fancy Toyota multicab, Suzuki multicab right here, and then they load this puppy up. We can't do overly large pickup loads with these guys. These are little 3-cylinder engines, and as you've seen from some of our other videos, these things are designed for the Philippines. They start out in Japan, and when they hit 100,000 kilometers, they dismantle the whole vehicle. They ship them off to countries like the Philippines as parts. Parts come in here much cheaper than a whole car. They rebuild them, and then with the rebuild, they sell them off. Now, that white one that's up front right now, and that copper colored one that we just saw, they will start as a full van. Depending on the damage, the vehicle becomes a 4-door wee little pickup on the back, or it becomes a 2-door like these, or if it's a good frame, then it'll be a full body multicab. You can get these in 4-wheel drive too, which just blows me away. But really, really handy. A shout out to Crazy Monina. Her multicab is a 4x4, and they've got a little farm. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, so we're happy campers. A lot of times you don't want to spend money, but sometimes you just have to. Anyway, what's happening here is that they've got a rhythm down. They just dragged the tarp out. They're just leaving the shovels here. So it's getting a little bit high. They're slowly creeping up, but we'll get that down yet, and we'll scrape it a little bit towards me. We'll scrape over a little bit because, as you can see here, it is really, really wet here, so it won't hurt to throw some of this stuff in here. Okay, Lynn's gonna head back to the car, I think. Ooh, okay, give you an update from the shade here. As mentioned in the previous segment here, we had to go buy this other Thai a hat. He was driving me absolutely crazy. I know his skin is very dark. He spends obviously a lot of time in the fields and such. So, you know, kudos on him, but nobody needs sunstroke. And his hair is pretty thin, so that's going straight onto the skull. I said to Lynn, this is one area where I think, because it is so low, we might just do that whole entry section in full-on concrete with rebar and the whole 9 yards, because I can't see how the neighbor hasn't raised their property. None of the neighbors have raised their property, and besides that, where's the water going to go? It has to go somewhere, right? So we mentioned the trench that we're going to put in for the septic tank. After we're living on the property, that paralleling, we might be able to parallel a trench and be able to take, some of that water that comes into the property, parallel it into a trench along here, and try and pull that water to the surface, and thereby allowing the sun to do its thing, as it were. Now, of course, in the let's try those words again. In the heavy rainy season, it'll just fill the trench up, right? So the kicker is that the septic tank will flow downhill. The other one will just allow the water to migrate into a trench, but it won't backwash into the septic. The slope of the land just will not allow that. Okay, we'll give you a further update at the end of the day. This is Saturday. It was special lunch day today. They made up a fish broth and rice and some veg to add.
The riprap below needs dumping now, so I need to talk to the guys.
Okay, we need 2 down here to deal with that then.
Yeah. Okay.
And a big shout out to my wife again. She's coming through.
Okay, I'm in a hurry. Okay, I'll go.
There's very limited that I can do here, guys. When Lynn went over to get their snacks, all of the guys stopped work. All of the guys decided that they were going to watch the guys doing the septic tank work. And if anybody's ever been in construction, nothing drives me more crazy when I was a worker and when I was a planner, that people would come and watch other guys work. Drive me absolutely crazy. Okay, anyway, so there we go. Everybody's on board. Another solid day. you.